You're watching Taste of Victory.
Hey guys, welcome back. It's been a minute without gameplay on the channel, so today in Boosted Set 11 we got BlackWarGreymon versus Bloomlord, a traditionally rougher matchup for Bloomlord as BlackWarg has a lot of ways to answer their wide boards, which affects the kind of effects that Bloomlord will end up gaining. So our opponent digivolves into a Sunflowmon level 4 in their raising area, putting us at 2 memory. We digivolve into our rookie in the breeding area, and we have a choice of either digivolving up or slamming Cool Boy here. We are missing some key pieces in our hand, so we could try digivolving up and just hope we draw into them, but as you saw there, top 3 we are still missing any kind of level 5, and now we've played down the Agumon Searcher, and that does hit us a level 5 that we're missing. We're still missing our Megas, but now we have Cool Boy set up with Agumon X in hand to be able to go do the search effect, do the draw effect, do the Cool Boy effect, do like all that off of that Agumon X if we still need anything. So we're going to go ahead and do that. We're going to gain the memory off of Cool Boy. We're going to get an extra draw off of that. And then you're going to be able to do Agumon Search, which is almost certainly going to get us what we need. And there it is. There is not only the X antibody, but also the BlackWarGreymon X, which BT9 Agumon X lets you grab. Our opponent passed turn back to us by playing down their Mimi, which is really good to assert tempo for them. But it seems like they're kind of bricking right now. So we're in a position to take it a little bit slow and just start building up our stack. This is better to digivolve in the back so that in case like it gets removed or anything. So we're going to digivolve into the BlackWarGreymon in the back so we can start climbing there. And since it seems like our opponent, as mentioned earlier, doesn't seem to be doing too well with their hand, we're going to go ahead and set up Yuya, which is pretty good into this matchup because that plus 2000 DP is really helpful to make sure they're out of range to get swinged at over by Bloomlord. It forces them to have specific cards to be able to respond to it, especially if you have protection and they can't bottom deck it anymore. So our opponent digivolves, plays with Digimon to get Searcher pieces, and then digivolves into Blossomon in the racing. We're going to go ahead and move out, digivolve into Greymon X, activating our Cool Boy. And once we digivolve over Greymon X, we now have our protection set up because we have an X antibody in hand. Greymon X protects us from being able to return to hand or deck and from being deleted by effect. So it's really useful into this matchup specifically because it stops Hydramon's bottom decking at the end of their turn. We're going to tap the Yuya to give it protection as we just digivolved into a Greymon of the same level. It doesn't have to be the same level, but you get a bonus off of Yuya to be protected from options that way. We digivolve into the BT8 Metal Greymon, deleting the Palmon they had on board, and then we're going to swing into security using the X antibody option to digivolve into BlackWarGreymon X, which is really amazing into this matchup because you get to redirect. We have our blocker inheritable, so you get to block, and then whenever they unspend something, we get to pop once per turn the lowest thing on their field, which will mess up their counts because they need 2 or more per effect for Bloomlords when digivolving stuff. And then our opponent will put down 2 Searchers. They have 2 Mimis now because one came out of security. So this is kind of scary. We do have Hades Force, which BlackWarGreymon X on the field, we have more than enough of a play cost to be able to delete those. 2 Mimis is really scary to me personally because that is a free body every time because you could hatch and you could push out with 2 of them on board because you get 2 raising phase actions there. So I do want to be able to answer that. First up, we're going to digivolve into the 1 cost BlackWarGreymon X since it doesn't change our ratios too much, and we get to establish a second BlackWarGreymon X to make it protected with the DP boost from Yuya. We are then going to pass turn by Hades forcing away their 2 Mimis and being able to swing because of the last part of Hades Force's effect. So that is really good to be able to clear their board, which is amazing because they would have been able to establish tempo potentially if they were bricking. You know, they may have been able to make a good comeback and establish board presence off of that. So it was a priority to get rid of that. They're cashing in their 2 memory boosts, which is a whopping 4 extra memory. They're going to hard slam the Pomomon, digivolve over it into Blossomon, and use its effect to be able to play out the other Pomomon. And then they're going to seemingly, there's the HBD tapping Pomomon, which lets it tap one of our Digimons. That potentially eats up one of our blockers. Yes, he taps the BlackWarGreymon X, so at the very least we can't block with the inheritable anymore, but we do still have a redirect. I'm not sure of the inheritables right now on this Bloomlordmon. We're hovering over it. He is 14,000 DP right now. I think he has the ST Palmon in it. ST Palmon, when attacking your opponent's Digimon, you get plus 2,000 DP, so that should be putting it at 16,000 right now, letting it swing over and delete our BlackWarGreymon X. So that's unfortunate, but we force it to have the option there. You know, we force them to see that or not. Unfortunately, it did. This is a bit of a misplay here on our end. As you see there, we have the X antibody in hand, so maybe we should have put that in there because we didn't evo over the the Greymon X, so it wouldn't have like protected it anyways. But that could have been, you know, like we would have reduced it to 2 cost. So we digivolve into a level 5 for its reduced cost because of Greymon X's effect. Maybe put the X antibody option and then protect it in case they're able to get over the other stack. But I know, you know, that's something you have to think about. We don't have a good hand here because we're just not seeing any rookies, which is pretty crazy. So we're going to have to just hard slam this and hope they can't answer it. They're going to swing into security, revealing the level 5, and they're going to swing Bloomlord, which does 2 checks right now. And that last check is Hades Force, which is huge. huge. It deletes the highest or lowest play cost. I don't remember off the top of my head right now, but it targeted Bloomlord, getting rid of it, which is really great because that stops us from getting bottom deck for that turn. Although I don't think we would have been, because like you need to be suspended for that, so I think it would have survived anyways. But either way, fantastic for us here, because now it gives us ammo to trigger off a Cool Boy, to get draws for anything we might be missing, and to be able to gain 4 memory, which does help with our thresholds. We are now able to go into our level 5. We have the BT8 BlackWarGreymon, which is fantastic because that lets us de-digivolve the Bloomlord, which now lets us swing over the level 5 that it leaves behind, because we are 8,000 to their 7,000 with no DP boosting on our turn from their end. So we put the Extend Body option underneath just to make sure we don't lose it next turn. We have the protection ready to not get bottom deck by anything that may come out of raising. We're going to swing at security. Actually, we're going to swing at the Bloomlord, because while it would pop it with its unsuspend effect at the beginning of his turn, I would rather conserve that pop for the board that Bloomlord is going to set up, so like it has less stuff to trigger for Bloomlord stuff, and just to have a less wider board that I have to respond to. So we do have that, we do save that because we swung into the Bloomlordmon with the when attacking past turn X antibody option, and our opponent goes back into raising because they realize that I have the protection right now, so they don't want to risk that, so they're going to stay in raising after all and think they're played through a bit more. But I think this actually ends up being them scooping from whatever. No, okay, so they play down the Palmon going to 0, they play down Red Digimon, putting us at 3 memory. But yeah, just in case they did come out and start doing their whole Bloomlord stuff, I wanted to have that pop lowest play cost on the field ready, because that is only once per turn, and when we reboot, if there's something on the field, that does activate it right away. So if we could swing into it, I'd rather conserve it, and then we digivolve, we move out of raising, we digivolve up, we get the Agumon X effect, we get to search for some good stuff there. Not sure how much we actually really needed that at this point. We're pretty decent spot. We can digivolve here into the BlackWarGreymon, which is good because we are at 0 memory. This game is getting pretty close. They are establishing a ton of pressure. So not only are we going to digivolve into that, we're able to now go into Greymon X. That now lets us get the Yuya protection and also go into our level 5s without passing turn, because it reduces by 1 for every color on the card you're digivolving into. So that'll let us, unfortunately, this we catch it right away right here, but that does not actually delete anything because we do not have the X antibody option underneath. I drew it off of the digivolving into Metal Gray, unfortunately. So we don't have the option underneath. We don't have a Metal Greymon underneath because this is the only one in our hand. So we don't actually get the pop on Red Digimon, but it's okay because we have the Greymon, or rather the BlackWarGreymon in hand, the regular one, which deletes up to 3 play, up to 6 cost of Digimon or Tamers. We're going to go ahead and swing at security just to do that before we pass turn, because it'll reboot anyways. And then since they have 3 play costs each of them themselves, I'm going to digivolve into that and clear their board off of this. I don't believe I swing here, but I just digivolve, and I set that option up there to get the protection ready. But I didn't swing because this one does not have reboot, so we need to keep that blocker, because right now we have 2 blockers on board and a redirect, so he has to do a lot to be able to get past this, so I can't afford to risk another swing with that regular BlackWarGreymon. He plays out the Pomon, suspends the Pomon, and that suspends one of our blockers, so he still needs to get past 1 more and a redirect. He digivolves into Bloomlord. It's not going to pass turn, I believe, because of the 3 suspended at the time, but then he unsuspends, which should be popping the lowest. Oh, actually, I think he takes that play back because he realized that. Yeah, so then instead he'll play Somdi, which will suspend our BlackWarGreymon and makes it so that we cannot unsuspend at all. Next turn, instead he will just go ahead and digivolve into Bloom. Then the pop will go off. That will delete the Pomon. We get to trash 1 because of the unsuspend as well on the inheritable Metal Greymon X. Our opponent will swing over that. Piercing does not win the game, unfortunately for him, so that just gets removes a body, which is important to him, but at the very least, it gets us another turn still. So we have a rookie in the back, but I think we're running low on deck count at this point. This game went on pretty long. It's really close back and forth, being able to answer a lot of the stuff that we are establishing. So I think I'm actually like at 6 or 7 cards in deck right now, so I'm not sure if I even want to digivolve past that. So we do the 1 there. And after this, he spent some time here debating, like, how do I just go into BlackWarGreymon X? Like, obviously, like, I have to go into BlackWarGreymon X because the reboot will let us unsuspend, getting a blocker, popping their Pomu, and allowing us to redirect. But is that enough? Because, like, if they suspend and clear again, like, we're in a rough position here. So I can't be drawing too much either, because at this point we're really low in deck. Digivolving into BlackWarGreymon X will set off Yuya. It also sets off Cool Boy, but we probably shouldn't be activating it because, like, we're really low on deck. I think I ended up doing it anyways in case we're missing something. So here it's just like, how do you pass turn now? I think I end up just going into slamming the 2 promo Agumons so that they don't search and grab something out of our deck. So this way, like, you really have to answer this or it's game, because, like, like this is the best we could do. The unsuspend trashes one, so that is great there because we pop the Pokemon, we unsuspend, we trash the security, and he has to answer this or it's game, and I do believe that is it, and he ends up scooping here because he is not able to. So that was a really close game. Our opponent was really able to keep bringing that back, but we were able to just like keep buying time with our BlackWarGreymon X's blockers, their field blowups, their redirects. It was a very close game. He just ends up like trying to dig for an out, I believe, and he ends up scooping. I don't remember off the top of my head what out he was actually going for here, but like because of Bloomlord's effect, he's not able to go to lethal here because like he has no other way to suspend from what I remember. So he swings one, you know, or suspends it. I just redirect, and we're in a good position here. But it is really close game. We're just lucky we're able to see all our pieces because all the searching that this deck has in it. I'm not too sure at this point what he was digging for anymore, but yeah, BlackWarGreymon is crazy because there's the other Bloomlord, suspends the other stuff, comes back, goes back of their turn, off of all them gains, and then they end up scooping. Yeah, so that was a really close game. Yeah, BlackWarGreymon just has a lot of ways to dig. You have the BT5 Agumon, you have Agumon X, you have Cool Boy. It's just very, very consistent deck with a high power ceiling. So there is one more game here. I was debating not actually including this and just uploading the one of, but I know a lot of you guys like having the full set, so might as well. But this game was kind of like a brick fest, and it becomes pretty one-sided, so I was debating not including it. But there's some important decisions that can be made here, you know, to analyze still, because you don't realize your opponent is bricking at the time right away. Like here I'm debating, like they Digivolve up to their 4 and only gave us 2 memory, so I was debating to start climbing there, or do I just establish Yuya, because Yuya is so important in this matchup, and with 2 memory we're only giving them 2 really early into the game, so like what punishment could they really give us here? So I figured, yeah, let's establish Yuya first and then we can start climbing. They play their Mimi, giving us 3 memory to work with, putting myself to 1 there. So here I debate, do I Digivolve into Greymon X or do I slam? We are missing key pieces here, and it's pretty early into the game, and since my opponent just immediately slammed me back in response, that kind of gives us an assumption that they might not have too good of a hand to actually answer this. So I think as we're still missing pieces, now is as good a time as ever to search for them. So we slam down the Agumon X instead. Our opponent searches, slams down a Palmon, Digivolves and Raising, and they give us 3 memory to work with here. So I would like to hold on to these X antibody guys to get Cool Away, but like we don't even have it in our hands, so we'd rather start climbing. That protection is important to have in general. So we're going to Digivolve for 2, putting us down to 1 there. We do draw the Metal Greymon X, which is funny. We don't have the base form, but going into this now puts him at his memory, at his 3 memory that he's guaranteed to go to anyways. It clears board, but we're going to go ahead and swing first regardless, because maybe we establish in the back just to make sure we have a stack instead. So that would be funny there, but like I'm not too scared of what this board is doing right now, and then who knows if they even have their Mega. So I'm just going to get that chip instead right now. It could be good, but like if we went into it on the field with an Agitar in the back, it is possible that they would be able to just remove it, and like we wasted our level 5, which is the only one at the time in hand. So instead they Digivolve in the back to make sure our stack is protected. They swing, reveal a Cool Boy. We don't get anything off it, but we do get Cool Boy value now, which is still incredibly valuable. We are at 3 memory, I believe, which is a lot to work with here, just looking at our hand and see what options we have. They have Red Vegemon and they have Palmon on the field, so I'm not too scared of that, because I think if they had Bloomlord or Hydra or anything to take advantage of the Agitar in the breeding area, or racing area rather, they would have come out and done it by now. So instead we're going to just go ahead and move out, put the option in the sources to make sure we have protection live against Hydramon, swing, and then Digivolve at security, and then that lets us clear board and unsuspend. They're going to go ahead and move out, and I think they go back again after realizing they have protection. I don't remember too well what was that about, but something like that. But I think pretty sure they just end up scooping here, because like I'm just so far ahead, and I guess they're just really not seeing what they need, including any other searcher. So I'm pretty sure here that they just end up scooping. That was a really fun game though. That first one was really intense, close back and forth, and maybe that was due to me fumbling or my opponent being super really good, because this was Llama Boy, who's been on the channel before, who is a really great level player. So that is going to be the gameplay video, guys. Both are really great consistent decks and really close matchups if you were able to pilot it well and just play around your opponent's outs. I really enjoy this. I hope you guys had fun. Let me know anything I could do to improve the video next time, and until then, remember to stay hungry until you get a taste of victory.